Hello there, Vic Benedict here. We're playing Gears 5 Hivebusters, and this is my Inconceivable difficulty guide and walkthrough. We're currently on Chapter 2 of 6. It is entitled Sanctum. So this is, I think it's about a 20-minute chapter, 20 to 25 minutes in average. And if you take a look on our character's back, they've switched our weapons, so you do start with the default weapons no matter what you've carried through to this chapter, but it's not a big deal at all because there are some really good weapons for you to choose from coming up on this chapter. In fact, in this next room we're going to be able to pick up a torque. But did you see how I dropped that weapon? If you want to drop a primary weapon, you just call up the weapon HUD, and then you continue to hold the left or right direction on the D-pad. If it doesn't do it at first, just hold it one more time, and after about 3 seconds he'll drop the weapon. But here's the first of 4 upgrades on this chapter, as the game calls them ultimate abilities. So this first one that you get, the one that's just sitting in plain sight right there, is probably one of the best upgrades in the game, because it upgrades your explosive weapons, the torque, the boom shot, anything that's explosive. It doesn't give you refills for the power weapons, just anything explosive. So, like I say, it's one of the better upgrades, if not the best upgrade in the game. And it's just sitting right there. It's the first upgrade. So it kind of throws off the balance, in my opinion. But what can you do? If it's just sitting there, I definitely am going to pick it up. Oh, and it also will give you back grenades for your Lancer GL. But normally in one use of his resupply, you can generally only get 1 grenade. I haven't tested it with all of the upgrades, but I think since those are so valuable, they only let you have one of those back. So I'm going to use the torque and the Lancer GL for probably the entire chapter, I believe. There's a couple of ambushes on this chapter, and I'm going to be doing some preemptive strategies on it, because anything that rushes out of a door at you is going to be a juvie or the rejects, and I hate fighting both of those enemies. Also, there's an upgrade called Huddle Up later, where when you are near your other teammates, the regeneration goes faster of your ammunition. So here's where the rejects come out, and the reason I hate this enemy is because I think it has too much HP, even on this mode, and I just don't like the way it persistently follows you, and the long time it takes to blow up. So it's definitely one of my least favorite enemies to fight. So I've set some assurance here so that we don't have to deal too much with them. But there's also one of the larger enemies coming up, and this thing, you can actually get a critical hit on it and kill it instantly. But this was actually an accident, because while I was trying to get the critical on it, it's very difficult to see where that is. Go figure. I mean, what exactly did I shoot? It's hard to see where its head is. I'm not even sure his head is the critical. It's very difficult to see right there. So you have to watch it in really slow motion. But you can use the tri-shot from that heavy enemy. Oh, if you don't want to do that, by the way, you can flank him, and there's an overkill like immediately up to this area, and you can use the overkill. He doesn't rush you, he just stands right there. So anyway, when you come down here, there's going to be some more of the rejects. And this, I actually do really like this chapter, but I don't like some of the ambushes. Yeah, this enemy has just never gone over well with me. And you don't get too much tri-shot ammunition, so it's a little disappointing, but I've always thought that Inconceivable was a little bit easier because of the fact that you don't have to hit enemies too much to kill them. So I think there is a really good argument that Inconceivable is not the hardest difficulty, but it's touted as so, and it has the highest metal. So that would give me to think that it probably is, I don't know. I was gonna say objectively harder, but I guess it depends on the person. Anyway, Lahni's gonna crawl through the little hole where the door was stuck, and if you ask Mac to work on that panel, he will open this door right here, and inside this room is the second of the 4 upgrades. And I think this might be a Keegan upgrade. Is it? Or maybe... No, I'm sorry. We have the barrier duration is increased by 50%. In the previous video, I mentioned that max bullets deflect. I'm sorry, max barrier deflects bullets. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say deflect. I meant to say block. Because deflect implies that the bullets get sent back to the enemies, but it doesn't do that. It just blocks them for right now. And that's one of the trouble with his barrier, is because the erratic way he moves around, I never use it to take comfort. Anyway, another upgrade right here too. This is going to be for Lahni, and for her, she gets a cooldown for her ELECTROBLADE when she gets kills. But yeah, those 2 upgrades were really close to one another right there. And then there's this stealth section coming up that it just isn't stealth. You can get a couple of guys killed, but it takes too long to do it, and you're not guaranteed that it's not going to screw up because of the wonky way of the stealth. But in this room there are 2 grenades to replenish the 2 that you used to stave off that reject ambush. And yeah, in this room here it is right here. There's 2 guys that you can stealth kill, but it's really not even worth it because it takes too long. And after the second guy that you kill, the game is going to quote unquote just see you, and everything's over with. And I just really hate that. Nobody has seen you. It's just that the game is just prohibiting you from clearing the room with stealth. But once you kill those 3 Imagos, and usually what happens is that one of the pods bursts, and you get this was an accident, by the way. One of the pods is going to burst, and it's going to send out a juvie, and he'll probably come up and try to kill you, so watch out for him. And then you're also gonna get this one here. I chose to use the torque on him because I didn't want to not kill him with the Lancer GL and have him come rush me. And over here, these 2 drones down here are a little bit difficult to kill because you're close to them, and if they're firing at you with successive hits, it's really easy to die there. So the best thing to do actually is to send Lahni down there and have her just kill them with the knife. They can come up here too. If you just leave them alone for a long time, they will get tired of it and they'll come up the ladder. So I suppose you could set a trap for them, but they're worthless enemies that could be killed so quickly anyway. So when you come down here, you're going to pass over a tripwire, and you're going to spawn this Scion with a cryo cannon. So I don't think I've ever seen them with a cryo cannon in the main campaign, but if that's true, that's the first combination of that enemy with that weapon. So I'm not calling that a new character though by any means. That's still the same character. This ambush down here is pretty difficult though. I think it's best to do ambushes with incendiary grenades because of the lingering status effect on the floor with the fire, rather than just having a detonation, with the frag grenades. So I'm gonna replace my frags for the moment with these incendiary grenades. I'm gonna put down a couple of these proximity traps for them, and then don't forget to pick up your 4 grenades again over here. And then after a few moments, the ambush is going to start. But if you stay over here, you should be pretty safe, and you have a clear perspective of everything that could possibly come at you through this area. I've died once to this over here, and I thought it was really bullshit, just because I was a little bit too close to the fire area, and they just jumped through it and they attacked me. But you want to use Lahni, and use her ability, and use the grenades, and it should not take long. But there is a ton of these little shitters over here. You might think, well, I keep saying use Lahni, why not use Mac? Well, he's kind of worthless at this point until he can start causing damage. We have a couple more fights coming up over here. One of them is actually a really easy section where, it's not. I don't think it's worth talking about because I can mention a few things on it in the next part. But the main problem about this stage that I thought it was a problem is actually Harambe, and I had a damn difficult time dealing with this boss because of his lackeys. This guy has nothing without his lackeys. But one moment for that. There are 2 long shotters in here that your teammates will tell you to go flank, but you don't need to do that. There's a red cylinder on the top wall to the left that you can use to kill them sometimes. Okay, and now I'm going to replace my frag grenades for those incendiary ones. What I would definitely recommend for you to do to take to Harambe is some of those flames, but you can use them, and there's some more coming up, so don't worry about using them over here. It's another ambush over here from the door to the right, and your teammates are really slow about getting over here, so if they could just come a little bit more quickly, they could help. And they will come. The main thing that saves this part from getting you overrun is the fact that those flames will slow down the juvies as they come out. And then before they're fully killed, you're going to have one grenadier that shows up through another door. But I'm going to give that long shot to one of my teammates and just use him as a mule for right now, so I can use that long shot on the next fight. And then after it's done, I'll switch back. So what I would recommend for Harambe, 2 flames. That's all you can carry anyway, but 2 flames, the torque bow, and the Lancer GL. The sidearm doesn't matter. And basically, it's just the flames that are going to help us with Harambe, and there's some environmental things that you can interact with that really just put this bastard down so fast. I was in shock. And then it's up to you basically, but what I would recommend for the next stage, since it's pretty difficult, is just the same weapons that you have right now. Just take these with you. It's a good combination of weapons. So here's the first ambush over there to the left. And one interesting thing though is the fact that there is something in the environment that you can interact with on Harambe that I didn't realize how much you could damage him with this thing, but it's very important that you shoot it at a particular moment where he's not in the center of this circle, and I'll show you after this fight. But where you shoot enemies is important in this game, because you can deal a lot more damage if you hit them in critical areas. For instance, this bastion here, you can kill it in 1 or 2 hits, as I did there. But sometimes if you're just hitting it in normal spots, it could take you like 5 shots. So I think that's a bit of interesting things that they've introduced to Gears. But yeah, I've got a Harambe fight that I swear it was like 15 seconds and he's dead. And afterwards, I was trying to see if anyone else had done it. And then, of course, somebody did something similar. And I was just thinking to myself, it's so hard to be, someone that sets down trends like that, because there's always somebody faster and better than you are. Well, not necessarily better in this instance. I'm not even going to compare anybody, but I'm just saying the fastness of folks getting stuff out on the internet. So on this fight, once the Bastion's killed, then you can focus on that Scion with the Mulcher. And this is a really safe spot. After you get a checkpoint, there's going to be 2 flocks and a Pouncer to deal with, but the Pouncer doesn't even come back here. I've never seen him come back here. And I'll show you exactly where he alights so that you can put a grenade onto the box. I should have put 2 on there, actually. He lands right here. But maybe I was in a hurry. I'm not sure. Oh, we got the checkpoint. And now I'm going to switch with my teammate and get that weapon back. And the flocks. You don't have to deal with any leeches with these. So that's good. I hate the leeches, but the one thing I don't like about the Harambe fight, though, is that even after you kill Harambe, if there are any juvies and or shockers in the environment, or poppers, sorry, you have to kill them before you get a checkpoint. So I don't like that personally. But yeah, I should put two frag grenades there. And you might say, well, why don't you just put 4 there? Well, obviously, most folks know that you can only put 2 down without them starting to detonate, which was only in Gears Judgment that they allowed you to put 4 down, or more maybe, if you can get them. Yeah, but this is a real simple room. I would recommend going into the Harambe fight holding the flames, incendiary grenades. And it's a bad checkpoint too, but hopefully what I'll show you over here is a reliable strategy for you personally. It's reliable no matter what, but if you find it so, that's what I was trying to say. Here are some flame grenades for Harambe right there. This is a room that has a few weapons in it. And then we'll just talk about Harambe. So when you get into the boss room, you want to just blind throw the 2 incendiary grenades. Oh, by the way, here's the 4th and final upgrade. This should be the Huddle Up upgrade. So if you can get teammates within the radius of your circle, they can help you to facilitate the weapons regenerating faster. Your teammates won't make an effort to come over to you, but if you can go over to them, I honestly don't do it too often. It's not that important. But blind throw the flame grenades so that you can throw them quicker. And then what you want to do is roll away into cover very fast. And you need to wait to shoot the core inside the middle of the room, because if you wait a moment, it will deal like 4 times as much damage. Don't shoot it yet. Just go over here to safety and watch how much this will take away. I mean, it could have been the flame damage too. It's that flame. Look, he's already dead. That was like 10 seconds. Unbelievable. But do you see what I'm talking about now? They don't give you a checkpoint. And a lot of people won't kill him that fast. They'll maybe take a few minutes to kill him. And this is a hard room too, because of all the shit that's around, all the enemies chasing you and everything blowing up, and all of the AoEs on the ground. So it really might not even be the core that damages him too much, but I don't know what it is. I think it's the combination of the flames, the core, and then just like one torque round I think would finish him off. That's all you've got to do. And then we have some running around over here. It's the end of the mission, but I do want to mention to you that what you carry into the next stage is what you get to keep, unlike going from 1 to 2. I don't like that lack of consistency, quite honestly. I really don't. The person coming into Chapter 3 with a torque bow and a Lancer GL is going to have a much easier time than the one coming in with a Nasher, say, and a pipe or a hammer burst or anything like that. It's just objectively they're going to have a harder time unless their skill level is through the roof. Anyway, I think I'll leave it there, because this last sequence, as you might know, is just a running section. You can get killed, but I've never got killed over here, so that is some good tidings for you, hopefully. And I will see you in the 3rd chapter. Until then, please take care.
Running from this toxic fucking gas!
You detonated the payload? How did you get down there so fast? What? I see. Is it working? The gas.
It's working on everything! Including us!
Alright, get to the surface ASAP for extraction. I'll go talk to Hoff.
Copy!